going down, people? Garrett here at Sinister Custom Concepts. Got a bunch of updates for you. First off, Happy New Year to everybody. Started off the year pretty well already by getting back my damn truck. We were having motor issues with it for like the past 6 months, and finally got that taken care of. It turned out it was some internal transmission issues along with carbon buildup on the throttle body. But man, I went through every damn sensor on that motor, and yeah, 6 months later, man, here we are. But I'm glad to have her finally back. So first thing I've been knocking out, I know I've had quite a few questions of how the hell am I going to fix these windows, and I got that situation figured out. That basically I had to flare out this section of the body about a 1/4 inch, not even that much, to clear the wheel. So I went ahead and flared it, pulled it out, and then added in a new strip of metal that I cut it pretty much from here all the way up to there, to give it kind of a gradual step out. And shit turned out really nice. The window fits in there prime. Today I gotta make a couple spacers to make up for that little bit of gap that I added there. So you got to put a spacer on each one of these just to space that window out so that it sits on the outside of this tub section right here. But a new trick that I picked up over the last month is from a company called Eastwood. They're pretty known in the fabrication department, that they have endless stuff from rust encapulators to fixed frames to lead-free soldering kits, which is what I used. I don't know if you can see the color difference in there. Hard at angles, there you go. But all that is lead floated over tacks that I would, along this cut, tack it about every inch, and then just use this lead rod. It's a lead-free solder, so you can actually come in with an air sander, hit that no problem. You just got to wear a good dust mask to keep all that stuff out of your lungs. But stuff is just killer, and man, it saved me a lot of time. Best part about it being on this outside body line, if I tried to weld this whole thing, there's a chance that I'd start warping the door panel. So by leading it, you just use a torch and barely heat up the area, and then the lead falls in there like soldering wires kind of. So that's one thing that I'm stoked to have finished. Both windows are going back in by the end of the day. But I needed to, catch you guys up on the video. And then another thing I changed on this, since we body dropped it, I had some Slam Specialties SS7 bags on here, and with the body drop I just wasn't getting enough lift to really clear driveways and making driving a little more comfortable. So I had to reconfigure the rear end a little bit, and now I have Slam Specialty SS8 bags in the rear, and that gives me 13 inches of lift that I got pretty much front and rear now on this truck. So the thing lifts killer. And along with that, I had to replace my shocks. There you go. Show you had to replace the shocks, and now I got some Rancho 9000 shocks, same as before, but now I have a 14-inch travel on the shocks. So I had to unfortunately cut my beautiful center hump here and a little bit of my tubs there, but well worth it in the end. Now I can lift no problem, and I'll show you what the new cap looks like that we just made. Nothing too crazy, pretty simple shape. So I got a little more patchwork to do, but that's the main piece, how it's gonna look. So pretty clean. And let's move on to the front end here. Alright, so the big question I had was my intake. My stock intake was just a big bulky piece of crap, and I had to replace it, so built me a custom intake tube that I went to an exhaust place and just asked the guy for some scrap metal, so I had, you know, some different bends to work with and everything, and just took a 90-degree bend and cut it to the length that I wanted. And the big question I had was transferring over the mass airflow sensor for one. Light that up for you. So yeah, I had to transfer over the mass airflow sensor onto the tube, and then there's also a temperature sensor right there too. So got those transferred over, and shit freaking works great still, you know. So I'm stoked on that. That's a big thing to check off the list. I know that thing works. And cover that back up.